Hi YouTube, welcome to my channel. This is Virtual Access and this is your girl Kia. If you are new and you like budgeting videos as well as shopping videos, make sure you subscribe, turn your post notifications so you don't miss any more videos. So I am here to do the monthly budget for September. So let's go ahead and get started. So first let's go over my budget sheet so that you will know what it is I'm talking about in this video. Hopefully the camera isn't doing too much of auto focusing, so hopefully you can see this video really good. If not, I apologize. At the top, I include my income. This is a monthly budget, but it's kind of like a weekly budget all in one. At the top, it's always what I make in a week. And then this whole thing at the bottom is monthly. And I have it broken into weeks, if that makes any sense. So up here at the top, I have paycheck number 1 and number 2. I'm going to bring out my budget sheet from last month so y'all can see that there is a difference. I did change it some. Yes, I did make these myself, y'all. But so at the top, I included paycheck number 1 and number 2. Normally number 1, because I don't work, I just do like side hustles from time to time. My boyfriend is the one that actually has a job. So paycheck number 1 is always his income. Paycheck number 2 is my side hustles that I do, which is DoorDash. And as you can see on this one, I have Paparazzi and Arch. I actually just quit selling jewelry for Paparazzi recently, so that's why you don't see it on here. I still do my Arches from time to time, but I don't make as much with those, so I just left it blank this time. And then my rollover from here on out goes into my buffer envelope, so I didn't include it on this sheet. One other difference between the two sheets from August and September is I have gotten rid of a bill. Car number 1 is gone. So car number 1 is my car insurance. If you have been following me for a while, you know that I was given $1,000 for car maintenance to fix my car. But because we're trying to move out of this house, because of so many problems we are having, I'm using that money to instead do a down payment on another house instead of fixing my car. So now that my car isn't getting fixed, I no longer need insurance on it or anything. So that is why we are not including that in this month's budget. So that's what all these are, is basically my expenses I keep in on my card. But I do cash stuff for rent and lights. Because I do those in partial payments, as you're going to see in a few minutes. And I do want to point out that my boyfriend makes more than $500. I am giving $500 out of his check, and the rest is for his savings and his spending money, whatever he wants to do with it. He gives me $500 out of his check. He does make more than $500, but he just gives me $500. $300 for bills and $200 to stuff in my cash envelope. So paycheck number 1 is always like 95% will be $500, and then paycheck number 2 just depends on my side hustle. Letter D stands for due date, and this is the due date of all my expenses of the month, which is my bills. And this is my expenses, which is my bills, the name of them. And then I have the amounts, and as you can see, water and lights is completely blank. Those are the only 2 variable expenses I have. The rest of them are fixed. So then I split it up into weeks, because he does get paid every week. My boyfriend does. So we have paycheck 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And normally there's 4 paychecks in a month, but I include the first check of the next month. So because I have bills that are due on the 1st or whatever, like really early in the month, so I just include the first week of the next month to get a jump start, if that makes any sense. There's actually 5 checks in September so this will be completely September. There will not be an October paycheck in this one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in $500 for what we will be receiving every week. So the total will always be $500 at least. So it could be a little bit more depending on my part, but we're going to just budget for $500 every week. So like I said, we do get paid every Thursday. So that will be 5 checks in September. So another thing I want to point out is this PD here. This is paid. This is what that stands for. So like I said, normally I would do like, this is August, right? So I did the 4 weeks in August and I did the first week of September. So I put August paid and September paid. So as I'm paying my bills, I would check off what I already paid. That's what that is. So because this whole thing is September this month, I'm just going to include number 9. And I'm going to just leave this one blank. So I didn't point this out on my last monthly budget video. But when I put the checks over here, that's just to make sure that I have it paid as I'm budgeting. So I meant to erase some of the checks from on the last video, but I didn't. So I will be making sure I do that on this video. So let's get started. So the first thing I do when I fill out what I'm going to be making every week, I fill in the dates. So we're going to do 9/2, 9/9, 9/16, 9/23, and 9/30. So we have 5 checks in September this month. And the next thing I do is fill in my water and light bill if I already have the bill for that month of how much it's going to cost. I actually know both of these, so I'm going to fill those in. Alright, so my water bill for September will be $25 and the light bill is $192. Another thing I want to let you guys know is, like I said, my boyfriend gives me $500 every week. $300 for bills and $200 to stuff with, to save with. So each of these weeks, I try to make sure I take out at least $300 for bills. But first, we're going to go back on this sheet here, and we're going to look at what we put in for the first week of September. So I did include the car insurance for my car, so that would actually be blank. I'm going to go ahead and fill in what I did. I did $97 for rent. And then I did $25 for water, which I was actually predicting it would be. And it's actually right. So I'm going to be paying my water bill here. And then $50 for the rental. So we're going to add up how much that costs so far out of 300. 300 subtract 97. Subtract 25 and then subtract 50. So we still have $128 we can use for this week here to equal up to 300. Right here, the water bill will be paid. So I just goes ahead and put a check to make sure I pay. That lets me know to pay that bill on that paycheck. Oh, another thing, the rent is already paid. This here is working on rent for October. So we got to make sure it's paid here. So normally I do 4 weeks because there's normally 4 weeks in a month. So we're going to divide the $385 by 4 paychecks. I'm just do 4 paychecks instead of 5. We can do 5. Let's see, $385 divided by 5 weeks will be $77. So I can actually take $77 out for rent out of these 5 paychecks, but I think I'm just stick with 4 because normally when there's 5 checks in a month, that last check or that extra check is like a catch-up check, if so to say. So I could just take out 77 for that's. I think that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so that's okay. We're just gonna do it for 5. We're gonna do split into 5 paychecks instead. So let's make sure 385 divided by 5 is 77. So we're going to take out 77 for rent. And then right here, this will be where I pay the rent for October. Which now that I'm thinking about it, I'm actually going to need to include October over here. September and October. This is how it's supposed to really look, but so this here means that the rent for October is paid. So right here we got the water bill paid for September, so just go ahead and check that off. Just letting y'all know for October, I like to go in the first check, which will be on the 7th. So anything from the 12th and down won't be included. So from the 5th, all these 5 here will be checked off on October because the first paycheck in October is the 7th, and it'll cover the rest of those bills. So we know to stop here with October. All right, so going back to September. So first, let me go back to my sheet again. I forgot to do this part. But I'm going to go ahead and check off the bills that's already paid for September. All right, so the Wi-Fi bill I already have in the bank. The credit and the phone bill is already paid for September. So these are actually already paid. The water bill will be coming out of this check, but the rest of these three here, actually all four of these are already paid. So the water bill is the one I have to do in September, or in the first paycheck of September. So all these are paid. So now we got to work on October. So like I said, October's first paycheck starts on the 7th. So all these here have to be paid. So more than likely we're going to take these out on the 20 or this check here. So I'll probably, since this one's so small, I'll just probably take it out of this one. And the same with this one. So these will be paid for October. So water bill for October can be paid here as well. So October will be paid. So I'm going to go ahead and add these up and make sure they don't go over 300. So we got 77 plus 23 plus 25 plus 25. So it leaves us with 150 left. So we actually can include the 106. And it will be paid for October. So now we can just mark all these out here. Because all these are paid for both months. And I'm going to go ahead and mark this out because it's already been paid too. The reason why I'm doing these in pencil is because I'm going to erase some of them. That actually haven't been paid yet, but I'm just putting, the checks because we're budgeting to make sure they are covered. So now we got these bills paid here. Now I'm gonna add this up and make sure it doesn't go over 300. So we got 77, subtract 23, subtract 25, subtract 106, and subtract 25. So these are with $44 left, and I don't think anything else will be able to come out of that right now, so we're just gonna move on. So $15 for epidemic sounds due on the 12th. The 12th falls in between here, so it needs to be paid within these two checks. It's only $15, so I'll probably just take it out here, and it will be paid for September. So then I just go ahead and mark these out. Now we're on the rental, which is a building my boyfriend has, a shed building outside. So it's $202, and I already got $50 from last month's budget. So it is due on the 15th, which needs to be paid between these two checks here. So what I could do, I could just do 202 divided by 2, and it'd be 101 here. But I have no idea why I put 50 for last month. I have no idea why I put 50 here. We're going to change that. That's completely fine. I just like to kind of sort of get like a head start when I do that. So with it being 202, and I need to pay it within these two checks, it'll be 101 coming out of each check. And then it'll be paid here. And it'll be paid for September. So next is the gym. It's also due on the 23rd, so I can just pay it here. And it'll be paid for September. Now we move on to the bigger bills, which is the car insurance and the lights. So the car insurance is $166 and it's due on the 18th. So it gives me 3 paychecks for that one. So we're going to take $166 and divide it by 3. So that would be about $55. So that's between all these. So it'll be 55, 55, and I think 56. Let's do that. 55, 55, 56. Yeah, perfect. 166. So we know that out of these three, 2 have to be 55 and 1 has to be 56. So we're going to go ahead and add these up, make sure it doesn't go over 300. So subtract 77, subtract 25, subtract 101. So that leaves me with $97. So I think I'm just going to take out 56 here. So subtract 56 and leave me with $41. So now we're going to do this paycheck here. So 300 subtract 77, subtract 15, subtract 101, subtract 23. So this is with 84. So I'm going to do 55 and leave us with 29. Next is this check here. So we have 56, 55. So this one has to be 55 and it will be paid for September. So these were pretty small. So I know that 192, most of that will probably come out of these 2 checks here. But let's see what 192 divided by the 4 weeks that we can pay it on. So that's $48 out of these 4 checks. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take most of it out of here. So let's do 192 divided by 2. So that's $96 out of these 2 checks. So let's see how much that will cost. So we're going to do 96 plus 55 plus the 77, and that's perfect. So we can take 96 out of here. And more likely, I'm thinking 96 is the only thing on here. So, yeah. So, instead of taking it out of 4 checks, since there's so much coming out of these first 2 checks and nothing is really coming out of these 2, I just decided to take the light bill out of these 2 instead of splitting it over 4 payments. So, with these 2, it will be paid for September. So now I'm going to total up everything and see what we come up with. So it's 77, 25, 101, and 56. So the total here will be 259. Then we're going to do 77, 15, 101, 23, 55. So that will equal 271. 77 plus 55 plus 96 will give us 228. Then we have 77 plus 96, and it'll be 173. And then the last one will be 77. 77 plus 23 plus 25 plus 106 plus 25. Yeah, that's it. So it'll be 256 here. So I did stay under what I wanted, which was 300 for what we take out for bills each week. So awesome, we're done. All right, so I hope this video was very understandable. If you need to, you can go back and watch my August budget with me if you need to. I think I explained a lot better on that one instead of this one. But hopefully you can understand how I split everything week by week and have it where I can see the whole month in one. All right, so now that we're done, I'm going to go ahead and erase all the check marks because all these bills aren't paid yet. So I'm just going to erase the ones that are not paid yet. All right, so today is the 31st of August, and of course the only bill that is actually paid is the rent. I actually paid it today. So that is the only bill so far that has been paid. But I hope I helped y'all with budgeting for the month of September. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will talk to y'all for the next video. Bye.